Hello, I'm Jenni Murray, mother of 2 boys and presenter of Woman's Hour on BBC Radio 4. I've always resisted the trend invariably to describe me as a broadcaster, journalist and mother of 2. They never do that to dads. And I would never say in public that my children are my greatest achievement. But, to be honest, I'm no different from any other mother, and they are. So there. Over the years, I've interviewed hundreds, if not thousands, of women, and whether they're mothers themselves or not, the matriarchal role has universally dominated their lives. It may be that overwhelming pride in their own children, sadness at the fact they couldn't have children, or the influence of and the passion they feel for their own mothers. For the next hour or so, enjoy a celebration of the single mother, the campaigning mother, the mother-in-law, and the children who grieve for the loss of their mother. We begin with the ultimate mother who goes out to work. She won't be remembered as a mum, but as a Prime Minister. I spoke to Mrs Thatcher at Downing Street in 1990, and she looked back to life in 1953, when she was newly delivered of her twins, Mark and Carol, and hoping to pass her law exams.
I think it's always hard when you're trying to do 2 things, because naturally your thoughts drag between one and the other. But I had always had the idea the thing to do was to keep working even if only part-time, so that you kept your brain ticking over and kept up to date with the things that were going on. But it was hard. You have to organise things. You have to organise every day. You have to work hard late at night, because that's the only time you really have for thinking without the telephone going. So yes, it's hard, and you must be strongly motivated to do it.
It's interesting looking at the things that you were writing in the early 50s, your views about women going back to work, saying then that women could do anything and children would come to no harm if women went out to work. How much did you feel you were out on a limb expressing those views in those times?
Well, very much out on a limb. I think I expressed those views right at the beginning of marriage, or
1952 and 54.
52 and 54, and the children were born in 53. Let me say this. Children alter your life completely. You never know how much until you have one. I had twins. They were prematurely born, and so in the early days it really required a great deal of attention, because they had to be fed 3 hourly, and there were 2 of them. And so one couldn't think of going back to work immediately. And they tug away at your heartstrings, obviously. And I remember thinking, if I don't really make an arrangement to go back to work, or make an arrangement to take my final exams, I shall never get down to doing it. And so I consciously made the choice that I really must take my final exams. And they were about...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?